So, you're here to find out why I called the Eversor the most powerful assassin in Chaos Gate? Well, it's because he's my favorite, that's why. What? Y'all thought you were getting an unbiased opinion from here? This channel has been and always will be a glorious melee leading channel, and he is the glorious of the meleeist of the assassins. We here believe that glorious melee is supreme in all video games, regardless of those unconventional wisdoms like math or facts or truth. Fine, he is not the strongest, but I do think he is much better than the Calidus, and I will explain why. Let's break him down. Eversor gameplay is based around spilling blood, both his enemies and his own. He uses his own health as resource to kill enemies, and killing enemies heals him. Deaths from bleed or attack of opportunities do not trigger this heal. He is also the highest health character in the game, which really helps his playstyle. Be careful though, his healing is based on the enemy's max health, which means that it is very inefficient against low health chaff units. And there is also the issue where certain warp surges completely nullify his healing. He is the biggest beneficiary of the bleed changes in this build. In fact, I believe the bleed changes were made because of this character. The Eversor is all about applying bleeds on targets and then using Eviscerate to detonate all bleed stacks for a massive nuke. He is also very efficient at applying bleeds by himself, and on certain targets, the bleed stacks can get out of control. Like this beast of Nurgle, a single crit resulted in 11 stacks of bleed. If you build him with high crit chance, you can basically two-shot almost all bleedable targets. But neither his bleed-based damage nor his theoretical infinite resource are what makes him stronger than the Calidus. Oh no. The first thing that makes him stronger than the Calidus is his absurd mobility. What is this? Are you freaking kidding me? For crying out loud, he can outrun an interceptor who has a teleport skill. And I shouldn't have to explain to you why that is so good. Oh, he also has a teleport skill. And the second and most important thing that makes him really good is his equipment. The Eversor has access to the finest equipment a completely unhinged psychotic murder machine could ever ask for. Almost everything is good and can change up his fighting style drastically. You can build him to be a bleed-based monster, a crit-heavy nuker, or even a close-quarter brawling tank. You have a lot of options, and it makes the character super fun to play. But the strongest, most powerful option in his repertoire is the power sword Skull Cleaver. Why? Because it's a mini Endbringer. If you've watched my top 5 most powerful melee weapons video, you know why I place Endbringer as number 2. TLDR is, fully upgraded, the Endbringer awards 3 extra action points instead of 1 on executes. With enduring reflexes, this effect can occur twice, resulting in a massive 6 extra action points in 1 turn. It is the number 1 item for any execution team comps you are running, and it will literally allow you to massacre entire armies. The Skull Cleaver, on the other hand, only rewards 2 extra action points. But the Eversor also has enduring reflexes, and unlike the Knights, he gets 3 activations of it by level 8. This allows Skull Cleaver to reach the same massacre potential as the Endbringer. What makes it stronger than the Endbringer is that you need to invest almost nothing in upgrades to bring out its full potential, and it's the tier 2 assassin weapon. That means if you play the campaign right, even on legendary difficulty, you will have this baby in your hands and causing absolute mayhem in under 180 days. Combine Skull Cleaver with Eversor's insane mobility, and you can set up stuns from anywhere on the screen and be confident the Eversor will be there to finish off the target and start the execution train. All of this makes the Eversor the absolute king of execution. If you don't want to go the execution route, then I recommend the power sword Skull Seeker. This is an absolutely terrifying weapon. With it, he can stack 10 bleeds on a single crit. If you want to go with a crit nuker type build, this is the blade for you. Although I advise not to go for this unless you already have the crit chance war gear. Or you can say screw all that noise and want to play him as a frontline brawler. Then look no further than Wendell's Guard, which is hands down the best tank weapon in the game. His pistols are powerful but not necessary to his gameplay. Their needler attack ignores all enemy resistances and guarantees bleed or any other affliction, which makes Sanguinarius or Fiendslayer the best option because one applies the most stacks of bleed and the other applies damage vulnerability. As for his Sin Skin body glove, I like to go with the Skull of the Slayer. The extra equipment slot gives you a lot of utility, and the extra 10% healing is very noticeable, and allows you to break even on health when fighting lowly chaff. Mantle of the Red is also ridiculous, especially if you're going for a crit build. Because of how many autos he can get from enduring reflexes, this armor turns him into a giant demon blender. Again, I would not go for this unless you have the crit scroll tier 2 or higher. There are so many ways you can build this character and all of them are viable, but the most optimal way to play him is the one that is the most fun for you. Because if you're not having fun playing the game, then what the fuck are you doing, man? That is why I consider him better than Calidus, not only because you can play him the way you will enjoy the most, but also no matter how you play him, he will feel powerful. It's a mark of a well-designed character, and I applaud Complex Games for it. That's it for my Eversor guide. Join me next time for the new queen, nay, the new empress of Chaos Gate. She who dethroned the mighty Rambo, the unstoppable Colexis Assassin. Peace! Extra note, I love the fact that he is teleported into the battle while still in a stasis pod. He is so fucking crazy in the lore that even the mighty Grey Knights don't think they can control him if they let him out. Love that small nod to the lore.